Okay guys, welcome back. Now we've got to the point of where we remove the two fillets from the salmon. Now the first thing we do before we proceed any further is we need to trim up this fillet here, okay? We're about halfway through in relation to the actual fillet itself. It's not quite there yet, so we still have a little bit of work to do in relation to getting this fillet sorted. So first thing that we want to do is we actually want to remove the ribs, okay? So you can see here we have the rib cage here. So I have my sharp knife again, alright, and I'm using the rib cage here as a guide, the same as I did before with the spine, alright. Now again, what I'm doing is the blade goes in underneath the actual ribs here, okay, and we're just running the blade underneath here like so, okay. You can see the ribs here moving out, alright, you can see them lifting up here, right. So we want to make sure we get that all the way along because we don't want to miss any. Alright, so, and don't forget the rib cage stretches all the way along, guys, okay? So again, now you can take your time when you're doing this, alright? You're not in any particular hurry. It becomes, you get faster at it as the more experience you get at it, okay? But again, this principle also works for trout, so you can actually fill it out, take out the bones in relation to the trout like so, okay? So we're just finishing off here. Now I'm just doing this slowly so that you can actually see what I'm doing. So we're removing now the ribs here, okay? That's the rib section there, and that's absolutely of no use to anybody. So we're just going to get rid of that into the bin. Now, next thing that we want to do is we want to trim off the excess fat that's around the actual the salmon itself. So back to our sharp little filleting knife here, and what we want to do is, you can see here now, alright, you can see all this here, this is actually fat, again, as we said, from the farmed fish. Alright, so blade in under here like so, alright, and run the blade along. Again, you'll use let the actual fat be a guide to you in relation to it, okay? So again, don't forget guys, what we're doing here is we're preparing the fish. This is to do with presentation, alright? So once again, we've removed that off. Now take this off again. Now again guys, I'm going fairly slowly here. On the next one I will speed things up a little bit for you. Now again, that's absolutely of no use to anybody whatsoever, so that's going into the bin, right? Now next is the bottom section in relation to the fat here. So trim off here like so. Again, don't forget you need a sharp knife when you're doing this, and come down at an angle just like so. You can see here, yeah, that I'm removing the fat here, and again down like so, and just work your way along. And then at the back end here we have just down here, like you can see here, you can see, can you see in there in relation to the fat? Can you get that in there? Okay, so now we've just cut a little slit here. See this? This is all the fat. So up like so, and just trim along as we did earlier, and down again. Now don't forget, the reason we're removing this fat is because it has an unpleasant taste, alright, and does not make for good presentation on the plate. Alright, so now we've removed that as well. Again, no use to anybody. We can't turn that into a stock, we can't do anything with it, we can't turn it into a mousse or anything to that effect. So again, I'm just trimming off the excess fat here, okay? Now, that is the fillet, pretty much ready for preparation for cooking. Now, before we go any further, the next thing that I want to do is I want to skin the fillet, okay? So what you're going to need now is you're going to need the camera to be repositioned so you can actually see what I'm doing in relation to removing the skin. So when we've got the cameras repositioned, we'll bring you back. Thanks guys.